My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We love having you here, and it's our mission to bring you all the latest and greatest tips, skills, and know-how to make you the best that you can be. We know that you have it in you, and we're going to show you how. Now, let's get started.
Thank you for tuning in today. You are now listening to That Will Nevr Work Podcast with your host, Maurice Chisholm. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I appreciate you tuning in today. As you well know, that we have been going over, or we're starting a series on resumes. And that's based off of my experiences recently with me attending school again and just understanding the importance of revisiting what you have accomplished, and are you really prepared to move forward within your career, within your industry, and so have you revisited that most recently? So for myself, I had not, and I was not going to until I had gone back to school. So in this, in this session, or these series, if you will, like I said, we're going to go back to some of the basics of going back to resume building and things like that. I talked about creating a resume that is scannable, one that will be seen, possibly, right? Understanding that the purpose of the resume is to get an interview. They're really only looking at it to 5 to 6 seconds as far as individuals are going when they look at your information. And only about 60 to 75% of resumes are actually being seen based off of automations, right? Now, let's say you finally get your resume seen by an individual. Now, Maurice, what type of resume should I use because of my experience? So as we're trying to revisit this, one of the most commonly used resumes, if you will, as far as a format goes, will be a chronological resume, right? Most of us know about that. And when we hear chronological, it's also known as the reverse chronological resume. And it lists most of your recent to least recent work experiences in that order. So your professional experiences from most recent to least recent. And in that, it also, this type of format is used with when your career does not have any, or your work experiences do not have too many gaps within it. Because then with that, sometimes it might be more beneficial for you to use a functional or a what's the other one called? I can't remember. I just drew a blank. But it's, you can use a functional or a combination resume. And we'll talk about that a little later on. So with this, as you are writing your resume and you're putting together your information, it's good for you to understand, again, the purpose is for you to get the interview. And as you're writing this, what you would like to do, you can create a format based off of whether or not you have limited experiences or, significant experiences, right? Also, keep in mind the other format of this resume when you are trying not to make it look so pretty and ornate and difficult fonts and things like that. You just want to make sure that people can clearly read what you have done and what you have completed. One of the keys to with these resumes, that if you, as you're writing your resume, please be sure to include your name and your contact information. I've seen a lot of videos lately where it talks about, it's not necessary for you to utilize your mailing address as often. Sometimes you could just put your city and state, but be sure that if nothing else, you do add your a clear email address. And one of the things that we did talk about, not necessarily in class, but with some other colleagues and people that are in HR, creating an email address that does not say something derogatory or an abbreviation. Use something that is a little more professional looking, if you will, for your email address. I understand it's personal, but please be sure to include your name, your telephone number, and your email address. But your mailing address is not, it's always optional. Most of the time it's optional in this situation. And depending on your industry and what you're looking for and going for, you can include some links to some of your portfolios or projects and things like that, especially for those that are in school. They may want to include some of those type of things within this name and contact information place, right? Also, you would like to include your summary or your objective. And please be understand that this describes your most valued and short-term goals. A lot of times we don't understand what our real goals are and what our objectives are. So let's be clear and concise on that as you move forward with you writing your resume. Please be sure to include in your educational section that you are including information that's really relevant, and that is the truth. I've seen way too many people talk about that they have not included their information correctly with their education. It's too easy right now for you to be caught up in a place that is not real, and you don't know who has attended your school. You don't know who can verify your information. And once that information catches up to you, it may not be the wisest choice. That may not have been the wisest choice for you to have done. Please be honest with your educational level. It'll go a long way. It will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Within your professional experience, one of the things that I had to learn as far as this type of content is concerned is the importance of using action words for your bullets. For you not to use, first person words such as I, me, my, things like that. And also the importance of adding information that is quantifiable, meaning I was able to serve 20 clients at a time per quarter, or I raised sales by 50%. Whatever it is, something that has some numbers to it, that helps to build your resume. And also, and especially if you know that it helps to build your resume, but it also shows that you are that type of individual that will be an asset to any organization. Also try to avoid anything that references where you are in life, kids, marriage, things like that. One of the things that may also be interesting to hear is that when you're writing your bullet points, please be sure that they are understandable, meaning not using jargon, mixed verb tenses, things like that. That's the key to building this resume, and for it to be concise and straightforward. When you're listing your skills, really try to highlight your most relevant competencies. And the skill and abilities can include both hard, which are your technical skills, and your soft, which is your interpersonal skills. One of the things that you can do, if you need an example of any of these type of things, you can always go to Indeed.com. They have some great information on career advice and things like that. You can also go to Microsoft or templates.office.com to find templates about your resume, or a chronological resume and how to build it. One of the key other things that for my time that of doing resumes, and some of you can relate, where we would add references as needed at the very bottom. That is no longer needed. If they need references, they'll get the information, right? Please don't add a picture to your resume. And just be sure that it is reviewed by yourself or someone that you trust after you have done. Please, please, please review it. I thank you very much for listening today, and I will talk to you later on the next one.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.